Hello, hello. It's Heather here. Well, you know that because you're on my Facebook page, so hopefully you know my name at least. I am coming to you tonight because I wanted to talk about the 7 subconscious blocks that are standing in your way of receiving abundance. Oh, this is just such a favorite topic of mine as of late because for so many reasons, right? The world is in chaos. People are just there's all ends of the spectrum. There's some people who are like, this year's been the best year ever. And then there's some people who are like, I have lost everything. And as much as people, sit there and like raise their fists to people who have, right? Everybody wants to have more abundance in their life. And we can't deny that. None of us can deny that we want any of that, right? It's all something that we desire and long for, whether it's abundance with money, whether it's abundance with time, whether it's abundance with energy, right? But we all want abundance. So I wanted to come on and talk about this because it's something that I keep hearing people talk about. And it's something that I have created this amazing course around, and I'm super excited about it because it is something so special and unique. In the world of personal development coaching, typically programs are based off of, let's do these exercises that are conscious level exercises, and they will be focused only on your brain and your thoughts. They don't deal with the subconscious, which is all the stuff that's underneath the surface that is keeping us stuck. And that's where all the gold is and all the goodness is. And that's what this course is all about. So that's why I want to talk about the 7 subconscious blocks that are holding you back. And so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. And if you want to jump on and maybe experience some energy work, we'll see if anybody jumps on. Maybe we'll do that. And then we'll go from there. So if you find yourself thinking things like, I'm not worthy of receiving money or abundance, I'm not as good as managing my money as I want, if I make lots of money, people won't like me, or I don't deserve to be happy in life, I can't trust my intuition when it comes to letting good things into my life, or like I've always had bad things happen in my life, right? Then this is definitely for you. So I'm going to jump right into what the blocks are. And I've done another Facebook Live where I talk about, I go a bit deeper into this, but tonight I'm just going to jump right into the blocks. So when you think about, as I mentioned, our bodies, right? We have our physical body, and then we have our energetic body. And we have our spiritual body and our mental body and our emotional body. Sorry, I'm just totally brain about it. So we have all 5 different bodies, right, that we have to deal with and look at. And typically, when you want to shift something in your life, most people just go and look at the mind. And what are my thoughts that need to change? And then they go from the thoughts and they look at the thoughts from another thought, right, and try to change that. So that's where you hear people talking about saying incantations or affirmations or mantras, right? And they're great. That is a part of the work. It's just not all of it, right? So we have our, like I said, our physical body, our mental body, right? But then we have our subconscious, and our subconscious is 95% of who we are, right? All of the stuff that's happened your whole entire life, your subconscious remembers. Now, your subconscious doesn't remember all of those things. I mean, heck, half of us can't even remember what we had for lunch yesterday, right? But our subconscious remembers every single little thing. And our subconscious has these 7 centers of energy that run through our body, and they're just swirling and swirling and swirling. That they run in a column, right, from the crown of your head down to the area of your oh my gosh, I really can't talk tonight. Down to your tailbone, and they are connected to the central nervous system. Right? And some people may know these spinning centers of energy as the term chakras. And I know for me personally, when I first learned of this, I was like, chakras, oh, like that is not anything that I wanted to deal with, because in the way that I was raised is that it was like wackadoo stuff, right? But what turns out is that in science, right, these energy centers are all connected to different endocrine systems in our body. So whether you want to call them chakras, whether you want to call them energy centers, it doesn't matter. They're all the same. It's like we have these little mini brains in our body that all connect together. Okay? And each of these have their own frequency that we perceive as the 7 colors of the rainbow. And when we have traumatic events that happen, and we don't allow ourselves to process those feelings fully, they get stuck in our body. And when they get stuck in our body, just like when a river gets dammed up, right, the energy gets stuck in these certain spaces. And when the energy is stuck in there's certain spaces, that's all it's filled up with. And there's no space for anything else to come in. And these energy centers, sorry, one of my eyelashes bother me. These energy centers store old stories and childhood trauma and early patterns in our body. So when we have old stories, childhood trauma, and early patterns in the body, then there's no space for goodness to come in. So just like when we have to clean out, do spring cleaning, like we need to do that for our body too. It's kind of like Marie Kondoing our subconscious. That's what I should name this course. I'm going to have to think about that one. So when we release those blocks in our subconscious, right, then we create the space. But I'm going to go through and talk about each of those different centers so that you can understand what those 7 blocks are. And again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. So the first block is the block that prevents us from believing that it is safe to experience abundance. So if you just think right now, it's safe to experience abundance, and just notice how that feels in your body. Does it feel like a crock of you know what? Or does it feel true? Okay. That first energy center is called our root chakra, and that is connected to our feelings of safety and survival. And when it's out of balance, you lack confidence around your ability to earn money, and also confidence around your ability to earn it consistently. And also it prevents you from enjoying actually having it. The struggle and scarcity are way more familiar to you than abundance and feeling safe is. So if you feel unsafe in experiencing abundance, even though you absolutely need it for safety, if you believe that you're going to run out of money and be destitute, if you feel like the only way you can create money is struggling, then you have a block in that first energy center, which is known as the root chakra. For a lot of people, this is where, as a child, right, they learned, right, that it's not safe to have money or not have money. They may have learned, picked up on some shame in their family for having, and they may have also learned shame about enjoying money. It's like, no, we can't let anybody know that we have this. We have to hide that, right? Those are all like first energy center, root chakra, kind of things. Right? So that's the first. The first block is not feeling safe to receive abundance. I'm going to put this down below, and I'm just going to put the little titles, right? So it's safe to align with abundance is when you don't feel safe, then that is an energetic block that you have. Okay? And then our second energy center is our sacral chakra. I'm just going to throw this up here. I am worthy of receiving abundance. How's that feel for you? Do you feel like you're worthy of receiving abundance? Let me tell you, I used to never think this. And this weekend I had this epic weekend at a women's retreat and just had so many experiences of abundance. As I mentioned in a post earlier today, so much experience in abundance of love and joy and peace and bliss. Like, it was unreal. And every time like this movement would come through me of abundance, I had to clear out space of all the gunk that wasn't allowing that abundance to come in. And it was all stuff, growing up of telling me, like, you don't deserve, you're not worthy, for stupid reasons, right? For like, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, didn't live in this part of town, right? It's all these things that we know are lies, right? But they just take up space. And so our second energy center, our sacral center, that relates to our desires and pleasures and creativity and our beliefs that we are worthy of receiving abundance. When that sacral chakra is out of alignment, you may experience conflict when it comes to money, when it comes to having confidence in your ability to create and save money, or you may save it at all costs, and you're like, nope, not touching it at all. Can't let anybody have this at all. We can't let it flow, can't spend it at all. And so you don't enjoy the fruits of your labor because you feel like you have to hoard onto it and hold on tight to it. When your sacral chakra is blocked up, the words abundance and pleasure don't exist in the same sentence for you. And let me tell you, there is nothing more sexy and beautiful than abundance and pleasure. And the world needs more of that. Think about all the people that you may know that are just so like, and you might even be yourself, right? That are just like, no, there's no way. I just can't allow it, right? And they struggle and they think that it's holy, right, to struggle with money, with abundance, with feeling pleasure and joy. How is struggling with that doing the world any good? So when we look at nature is all about abundance, right? Go look at the trees, right? This time of year, they're shedding their leaves. I'm guessing that the trees aren't out there thinking, oh man, what if I get rid of these leaves? What if they never come back again? Nope, they're like, I'm shedding leaves and I'm going to get more next year. And we're just going to keep giving back to the world, right? And that's how nature is. It just ebbs and flows like that. It's so beautiful. And I can't imagine that the flowers and the birds and the grass and all these things don't get pleasure in the fact that they give us pleasure. I know as corny as that sounds, right? But they just get so much pleasure from being able to just be there and give and give and give. And when you feel like you have to hoard and hold on to things, okay, that is because your sacral chakra, okay, is out of alignment. You think about, if you think about our root energy center, our first one is all about safety. Okay? And in the physical world, it's connected with our like sexual organs. Right? So if you don't feel safe to receive, right, but on a physical level and within sexual, like everything's going to be tight, right? And then that sacral center, that one is all about digestion, right? And you think about most people's relationship with food, they're like, oh, I got to hoard onto it. I can't give it away because if I give it away, I'm never going to get more of it. And it's the same thing with abundance, right? We think, oh my gosh, this is all I can handle. I'm just going to hold on to it. But when we do that, we don't allow space for more of it to come into our lives. And we all want that. We all want to have that space for more abundance to come into our lives. So we have our root, which is safety, our sacral, which is all about worthy of receiving pleasure, or receiving abundance and pleasure too. And then we have our solar plexus. I'm going to pop this line up here. And that is all about your personal power and having the ability to power and create your desires. So if our root is connected to our sexual organs, our sacral is connected to our digestive organs, our solar plexus, our solar plexus is connected to our adrenals, and our adrenals, right, are what help move us forward. When that's stuck, well, you're stuck, you're stagnant, right? So you lack the momentum to move forward in creating your desires, and you're unable to take action to bring your dreams into reality. And so what we want to and need to release is the belief that you aren't as good as you think that you are should be managing your money. That we need to release you feeling stuck and not knowing what to do next. We need to release the energetic blocks that are blocking you from believing that you can't do this on your own. We want to be able to create space, right? I will say that again and again and again, right? Because the more space that we have, the more of the goodness that can come in. But when our closets are cluttered, our drawers are cluttered, right? You go into a car that's cluttered, right? You don't have space for anything to come into that, the things that you want to come into that, right? So we need to release the space in the sacral or solar plexus chakra so that you can feel like you have the power to do whatever you want when it comes to money. So then we have our fourth center. And this is all about compassion and love and acceptance with yourself. And puts it up there. When you hear the statement, I love to give and I love to receive, how's that feel for you? Does it feel icky? Does it feel like, oh, I love to give, but the receive, not so much? Right? And that's how it is for a lot of people, especially women. Like, we want to give, but we do not want to receive. Like, we feel like it's selfish and greedy, right? But the actual reality is that when you're receiving a gift from somebody who's loving to give. And so if you refuse to receive, you're basically putting a halt to what that person is giving you, and you're taking pleasure away from them from actually being able to give the gift to you. I never know where to look in this thing, like which camera to where to look. So forgive me if I look like I'm looking all over the place. So our fourth energy center, the fourth block, is what's blocking us from feeling really great about giving and receiving. When our fourth energy center is out of balance, it shows up as not making as much as you'd like to be making, and not feeling like you're worthy of making it. And it also creates a fear that if you do make money, you're going to be judged. How many people do you know that are like, oh, I don't want them to know how much I make because then they might not like me, or they're going to want from me? That's often because their heart energy center is completely blocked. We want to release the blocks that are having you believe that you're really good at giving money, but not so good at receiving it, and really good at rejecting money for the fear of being rejected by friends and family. You think about a lot of family systems, most people stay within what their family range is of money and abundance, right? Our family's always been poor. Well, our family's always been wealthy, right? Not that anybody wants to go from wealthy to poor, but people typically, stay within the range. And when people move out of that, if you have somebody who's poor who goes into a more wealthier demographic, then the poor people are like basically cursing the rich people, like, who do they think they are? Da, da, da. And so a lot of times people don't want to move out of that because they're so afraid of being rejected, by other people. And the reality is, when your heart center is open, then you have the ability to give and receive, and you're not bothered or swayed by what other people think. And then you're able to receive, and then you're able to help the people that want it, not just anybody, because we don't want to help just anybody. We want to help the people who actually want it. And I know that's a hard concept for a lot of people to understand, because, we think, I should just help everybody, but you can't just help everybody. You can only help the people who want to help themselves. So speaking of that, I'm going to move on to the fifth block, which is our throat chakra. This is the fifth chakra, and this one is up here. This one is all about I'm good at protecting and investing money for my future. How does that feel for you? Do you feel like you are? Our throat chakra is all about your communication, trusting yourself and trusting others. So how much do you trust yourself? A little bit, a lot. When in regards to abundance, when our throat chakra is out of balance, you lack confidence around your ability to grow and protect your money while enjoying it. And that's such a key part, right, of while enjoying it. As I mentioned already, there comes a time for some people when they have money, but they want to hold it all, like we were talking about that sacral chakra, it's like, I got to hold on to this. I can't spend it because I'm going to lose it, right? Our throat chakra is all about our ability to communicate, right? Think about, obviously, our throat, things come out of us and communicate. And if we don't feel as if we can communicate with our money, right? And which means like the way that we invest in our money, the way that we care for our money, then we're not going to feel like aligned with it at all. And so we need to release the energetic blocks that are having you think that you are not good at investing your money, and that have you worried about trusting yourself when it comes to trusting others, especially when it comes to money. So I know a lot of times people are like, I'm not asking for help with it because I've gotten screwed over before. And you need to be wise, absolutely, right? You can't just trust anybody with it, right? But if you're just holding on and thinking, I can do this myself and don't need help, right? There might be some blocks in the throat chakra, right, that are preventing you from really trusting yourself and trusting others and trusting in your ability to communicate with others what exactly it is that you need. So when you're certain and solid about your ability to communicate and what you need, and certain that if someone doesn't get it, to change your communication. If they don't get it again, then you might be like, like this isn't a good match. And you trust yourself enough to walk away when it doesn't seem like a good match. So we have our root, which is all about our safety. We have our sacral, which is all about worthiness of receiving abundance. We have our solar plexus, which is about helping you to feel good at managing your money. Your heart, which is all about giving and receiving. And then we have our throat, which is all about trusting your communication, trusting your intuition, trusting your ability to take care of yourself. And then our sixth energy center is our third eye. And I know a lot of times people are like, that's kind of a wacky name. But just think your third eye is right here and connected to, in the physical world, your pineal gland. Okay? And it is all about your intuition, your imagination, your reflection, your connection to higher powers, and to being able to being able to see things for how they truly are versus through a skewed filter. So it's having the ability to see beyond what you currently see. And that is huge, because if you can only see the here and now, especially when it comes to your finances, right, you're not going to have stuff planned for the future. Not that you want to live in the future, right? But if you, again, don't think that you're enough, or that you can't trust your intuition to be able to help you move forward with money, you're just going to be stagnant, right? And stagnant is gross. We don't want to feel stagnant at all, right? So we want to release whatever it is that's blocking you from feeling like you are good at manifesting what you want for yourself and your family, and bringing that abundance into your world. Like, what is the block between here's abundance and here's where you are? What's all this stuff in between? One of the things I like to think about in this is, if you imagine that you are at the very front start line of a obstacle course, and you have all these obstacles in the way, and at the end of the obstacle course is the finish line, right? It's oh my gosh, here is all the abundance in the world. And you just think about in your mind, like, what do you feel like is all of those obstacles that are standing in between of here, the start line, and here, the finish line? Is it the belief that I'm just not good at this? Is it the family story of like that's just not what we do as a family? Okay? My dog always likes to find the squeaky toys when I'm on this, so excuse me. What you got, Charlie? Let's see what he's doing. He's making a mess. But when and we have family stories that are like, here's, this is the way that our family is, and you just can't bust out of it. All of those things are the obstacles that are standing in between you, like where you are, and feeling like in a place of lack and certainty into a place of abundance. Right? So I'm going to move on to the seventh energy center, which is our crown chakra, which is the top of your head. And the crown chakra is all about feeling abundant. It's about releasing comparison and aligning with abundance. And it's all about feeling connected to everything. So when we feel disconnected from ourselves and from the universe and God, source, whatever, your higher power is, and we live in those emotions of scarcity, we compare ourselves to others and we judge ourselves and we judge others for where we are instead of celebrating ourselves. So we absolutely need to release the blocks that are having you feel like you can't have all you want in your life and business and feeling separated from what you want the most. I promise you, he does not play with squeaky toys unless I'm on here. It happens all the time. So just as a recap, right, we have our root center, which is all about it's safe to align with abundance. So as I go through these, I want you to just think about these statements. Like, do I feel this way? Do I feel like it's safe to align with abundance? And if you're thinking, nope, I don't at all, then you might have a block in your root chakra. Right? And then your sacral is all about I'm worthy of receiving abundance. Okay? If you're like, oh, you can probably feel your body just totally reacts, then no, right? It's just a hard no. I do not feel worthy of receiving abundance. You have some blocks in that center. And not good at managing money. Do you feel like you have no personal power when it comes to your money? Okay. That means your solar plexus is blocked up in regards to money. I love to give and I love to receive. Okay. That is our heart chakra. If you're like, yep, love to give, don't love to receive, right? We might have some blocks there we want to release. I'm good at protecting and investing money for my future. Okay? That's our throat chakra, our communications, right? Do you feel like you're able to communicate what you need with money to the right people? Okay, if not, that's blocked. And I'm good at manifesting what I want for myself and my family. Okay, that is all about being able to have vision into the future and our pineal gland. And if you're like, oh God, I suck, I'm terrible at manifesting this stuff for myself and my family, right? Then there might be a block in that pineal gland. And then the last one, I am abundant. And this is all about feeling connected to the abundance that's already there. Because at the end of the day, it is. Right? The abundance is there for us to take. I mean, I know a lot of times people are like, I just don't feel abundant at all. I'm like, okay, but like we're talking right now on this phone that is like somehow connecting me to you in different states. That's crazy. And you woke up this morning in a bed with the ceiling over your head, like that's abundance. But when we have all of these blocks, we can't see the connection to the abundance that we have. There's puppy entertainment in the back for you. And so if we're not feeling connected to what is already there, and we think, well, if I just have more money to come into my life, it's not going to work like that. Right? The money's not going to come into your life because you're not experiencing, you're not allowing yourself to experience what is there first already. And we have to get rid of these blocks so that you can experience what is truly there in front of you so that more can come in. Because again, it's all about making space so that more can come in. So how do you do this? How do we release these blocks? Well, there's lots of different ways. I'm not going to act like my way is the only way because there's not. And I can't stand when people are like, we have the best way, because there's no one best way for everybody. Let me take a drink. Sorry. There's no one best way for anybody or in any realm of anything. Except for sugar. I think everybody needs to stay away from sugar. I think that's my one thing. But when it comes to how do we clear these subconscious blocks, there's lots of different tools. Right? For me, I love the body code because the body code identifies and releases these trapped emotions and traumas that are keeping you stuck. They're keeping you from not feeling safe from receiving abundance, not feeling safe from feeling like you're worthy of having finances, or just abundance of love, abundance of love for yourself. So the body code basically is an app. And I'm going to show you. And it's a form of energy medicine using muscle testing. And it will determine, and you can see here, hopefully you can kind of see. I know that light's in the way, but there's 6 different things that cause energetic imbalances. Oh, this camera's so hard to like think. But anyway, there's 6 different things that cause energetic imbalances, and what we go is and identify what are those imbalances. So you may have a what's called a compound trapped emotion. That's where 2 emotions come together and form one emotion, like the energy of one emotion, and that was stuck in you at the time of 14. Right? Or you can have a emotional trauma that happened, when you were 22 around money, and we need to go in and release that. So using the body code, we go in and release all of the gunk that's keeping these energy centers from not flowing. And the way that I'm doing this is I've created this course, and it's a beta course. I'm super excited about it. It's stuff that I've done with one-on-one clients in different capacities, but I haven't put it together in this course. I'm so excited about it because these are the things that I keep seeing over and over again with people that are keeping them stuck from actually receiving, and not just receiving, but experiencing abundance, right? It's not that we just want to receive it. Right? We want to be able to experience it all day, every day. So this course uses the body code to release trapped emotions and trauma. It will go through each of these different energy centers. Each week we'll focus on a different energy center. We'll do work on the conscious level mind to rewire those things, but then also go in and energetically release stuff from the subconscious. I mean, who doesn't want that, right? We all need it. And what I love, like I said, is this is a beta course. This is stuff that I've been doing already, but I put it together in a very specific course so that we can work together in a group, because the power of working together with a group is exponential compared to doing it yourself. You just think about if you've ever trained for a race or even just playing a game, right? It's so much more fun when you're playing it with a group, and the energy of the group helps to rise people up because everybody else is working towards the same thing. You're going to be more inclined to move towards that thing. So this course is an 18-week course, and we're going to be focusing on the subconscious and the conscious work. Right? It's both and, not just conscious stuff like most courses do, but you're going to get energy clearing every single week. So 18 weeks of energy clearing so that we can get rid of all the gunk so that you can experience abundance. Because seriously, it is so amazing when you can just live in this space where you just see abundance all around you. I can't even, it's hard to express, the words of what it is when you can just totally be one and aligned with it. It's freaking amazing. So the course is going to be starting, we're extending it, date-wise, I have the date on my calendar, to November, where is it? November 2nd is going to be the first, that week will be the beginnings of it. And like I said, it's 18 weeks of energy work, 18 weeks of conscious level work. We're going to get down and dirty, right, and do a lot of releasing. So if you know that there's something deep inside of you that's holding you off from keeping you from abundance, right, this is definitely where you want to go. It's not reading another book, because that's just going to deal with your conscious mind. We want to go in and do a clean old sweep of all of those energy centers so that you can feel safe, you can feel worthy, you can feel good about managing your money, you can feel good at protecting and investing your money and manifesting what you want, and just you come out of it being like, wow, I really am abundant. That's a pretty freaking spectacular place to be. So those are the seven subconscious blocks. Okay? The things that are blocking you, and every block will be different, honestly, for every person. What's blocking them from root chakra, root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. Everybody's got different things, right? But the 7 blocks are those energy centers being blocked. So we need to clear those out and get your mindset thinking in a different way. As I wrap up, I want to remind you, I talked about at the beginning of this how we have 5 different bodies. We have our physical body, our emotional body, our energetic body, our mental body, and our spiritual body. If we're only working with one of those, like our mental body, in helping to allow abundance into our world, you're missing 4 other areas. And so we need to go through all of those areas to help release what is holding you back. So if you want to know more about it, shoot me a message, whether it is a private message on Facebook, or you want to email me, heatherexpo@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you, and I can send you information about the course. Again, we're going to be starting on the week of November 2nd. And I feel like there was one more thing. Oh, this was the one more thing. As you go to bed tonight, whether you're watching this at night or in the morning, literally, like just as you're laying there, close your eyes. Just ask yourself, body, like, what is blocking me from receiving abundance? If we take the time to be quiet and listen, I promise it's there. The answers are there. It will definitely come to you. So with that being said, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Just send me a message if you want to learn more about this program. Thanks for joining me. And I'm going to go figure out what this puppy's doing and see what mess he's getting into. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.